Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Okay, so we've had a little chat about what's happened to the gummy bears when they've been in the water for different amounts of time. And we have seen that yes, you can grow a gummy bear by putting it in water. You can make it taller, you can make it wider. But we also learned that other changes happen too. We learned that the colour changes and the texture, so how it feels. And what we're going to do now is a little activity together, which I would then like you to try again at home. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it first, and then you're going to have a go. But I've also got our teddy bears here to look at again in case we need to remind ourselves what they are, as well as some pictures. So there we go. There's our results. Going from no water, 1 day of water, 2 days of water, and 3 days. I'm going to be very careful because these ones in particular are very fragile and also a bit slippery. They keep falling off my plate. So there's our results, but I've also taken some pictures which I'm going to use now and I've also sent home for you. Okay, so let's have a look at our activity. So as I said, we're thinking about changes. We are thinking about what has happened and why. So I've got my 4 pictures of the gummy bears just there, and I'm going to put them in the right part of the table. So, I remember now. So here we go. Here's how the gummy bear started, the size of it. Now, after 1 day, I remember it was this one. Slightly bigger now. After 2 days, it was much bigger and it also changed colour quite a lot. And then after 3 days, what's that one there? Again, the bear had changed size and colour, but it hadn't got much bigger than it had on day 2. So what are we going to do with this information? Well, we're going to use it to talk about the changes we've seen. I'm going to write some down, but you don't have to unless you want to, okay? So, what was it like at the start? Let me think back. Oh, I remember. It was very bendy, but also quite strong. So it didn't snap. It didn't break when I bent it. It went back to its normal shape and size. And I'm going to put small because it was quite small and also quite tough. So when I pushed it, you had to push quite hard to make it to bend it, to move it down. It was quite tough. I needed lots of strength to push my finger inside. Then after 1 day, what we noticed was it got a little bit taller and a little bit wider. And we noticed that on the edges, I noticed it was really squishy. So the middle bit wasn't very squishy there, but the smaller bits on the outside, like the ears and the hands and the feet, were very squishy. So I'm going to put small parts, very squishy. It's a good science word, squishy. And it was a little bit slimy. A little slimy on the top when I touched it. Then on day 2, there was a big jump in the size. I'm going to say it was very tall and wide. And I'm going to put nearly see-through because we could nearly see all the way through, but there was a little bit of colour just in the tummy part that hadn't quite gone, but the outside parts were very, very clear. I could nearly see completely through. And it was a bit fragile. Do you remember? It was starting to break. So it wasn't tough anymore. It became really soft and fragile. Fragile means something breaks easily. Like glass can be quite fragile. If you dropped glass, it would break, wouldn't it? Be really careful with certain things. Now, day 3, I'm going to put same size as day 2. And again, it was very fragile. It broke really easily. But I would say the colour was a bit more gone. This picture actually doesn't show it too well. But when I look at the ones on the plate, the colour is nearly completely gone. There's no lump of colour in the middle like there is. Can you see there? There's the lump of purple colour in the middle. But on here, There is no lump of colour. I think the water's got right into the middle and started to change the colour there as well. So I'm going to put that is mostly see-through. Okay, and now I've done that, I've thought about what I've seen, my observations, what they were. I can talk through that, which I'd like you to do at home, talk about the differences between the different days and how it changed. And I can answer my question as well, can't I? Which we did at the end of the other video. Can you grow a gummy bear with water? Yes, you can. And you can also, as well as grow it, you can change its colour and its texture. Now, before we move on, do you think this change, we've been talking about this week, do you think these changes are going to be reversible or irreversible changes? What were those words again? Actually, before we answer that, can you pause the video and tell your helper what's the difference between a reversible change and an irreversible change? I've given you a bit of a clue there. That's right, everybody. If a change is reversible, you can get it back to what it was like at the start. So that would mean we could take the water out of these gummy bears and get them to look like this again. If it's irreversible, that means nope, you can't get back to how it was at the start. The change is permanent. So that would mean that we could get the water out. We couldn't make it look like this again. So what do you think? What do you think about this experiment? Is this an example of a reversible or irreversible change? I think you're right. I think it's irreversible. I'm not sure. I mean, we'd have to do an experiment to double check, but my gut instinct is that it's irreversible. I think the changes now have taken place. I think we would struggle to get the water out and to take it back to the same size, colour, and texture again. I think the change would be a permanent one. So, what else are you going to do today? So, after you've done this, I've got a bit of a challenge for you. I wonder if you can set up an experiment like this at home. Now, if you've got gummy bears, you may want to do the same thing as we've done. But you could try anything else you have at home. You could try putting raisins in water for different amounts of time and see if they change. Why not try some breakfast cereal, some Cheerio hoops or something like that? What happens when that's in water for different amounts of time? What about if we put bread or rice or pasta? Would they change if they were put in the water? Could you make them grow? I wonder if the colour would change as well and the texture, how they feel. How many days would it take? So that's your challenge as well. I would like you to set up a similar experiment at home, and all you need really is 3 pots to put water in, or a glass would be fine, or a cup. And then you just need to choose your food item. What are you going to pop in? You could even try something like potatoes or a fruit. But if I was you, I'd choose something that maybe is a bit dry. Okay, something that's a bit dry so we can see a real change. Okay, reception. Well, thank you for coming back and joining me. I hope you have fun talking through the changes we saw, and I really hope you do have a go at one of the experiments. And I'd love to see pictures of that. If you could take photos of what you did and send it to us, it would make my day. Okay, everybody, have a good day. See you soon. Bye.